Hey guys, welcome to this Wrestling Cooks lunch break. I'm super excited about the menu today. We're going to be doing a beef tenderloin in the sous vide. I love beef tenderloin, and in the sous vide, it is absolutely fantastic. Now, I love ribeyes, and I cook a lot of them also, but I gotta be honest, beef tenderloin may just be my favorite cut of meat. Today we're going to create a wow-worthy tenderloin using my Rustling Reserve Premium Select Steak Seasoning. So to get started, I'm going to coat this steak in olive oil for better adhesion of the seasoning, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the steak seasoning. Now, I'm going to be very generous with my seasoning, and you want to be careful not to under-season your steaks. A common mistake with steaks and cooking in general is to under-season. This particular cut of beef is nice and thick, and this steak seasoning is going to add a perfect medley of herbs and spices and has a nice peppery presence to it. Now, by the way, you can pick up a bottle of this steak seasoning on my website at rustlingreserve.com. There's a link down in the comments, so check us out and pick up a bottle for yourself. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Now, as you can see, I'm going to cover the tenderloin all the way around the edges and on both sides and get a good layer of steak seasoning. And once I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to be adding a partner seasoning. Today, I'm going to be using my adobo lime rub blend, and this is going to really complement the steak seasoning and fill out the mid layer of the flavor palette. Now, when you're mixing seasonings, you want to be careful that you're picking a combination that blends well and you don't have one seasoning trying to overpower another. Sometimes, for example, I'll use my chili lime seasoning, which makes a fantastic steak, but that particular blend has too much character to really be a partner seasoning, and it would really try to overpower the steak blend, so that would not be a good match. The adobo seasoning is a good mid-tone blend. It's going to sit well in our cook today. So with this tenderloin seasoned up, it's time to get it in the vacuum bag and get it into the sous vide bath. Now, I use the Anova Precision Cooker, but most sous vide cookers are going to have an app like the one that I'm showing here. So I'm going to open it up and pick a setting that's great for a medium rare steak, and I'm going to start the Anova. Now, this is going to cook for about 2 hours and get the steak up to exactly 130 degrees Fahrenheit or 54 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to go ahead and tuck it into the rack in the sous vide bath, secure that top, and we're going to move on to the side dish. For our side dish today, we're going to be doing some red potatoes, and I'm going to be using the adobo lime rub again, and just like the steak seasoning, you can pick up a bottle of this on our website. Just see the comments down below for the link. Now, as we did with the steak, I'm going to first coat these potatoes in olive oil to ensure that the seasoning adheres well as they're cooking. So I'll pour on a nice layer of olive oil and then sprinkle on a generous amount of the adobo lime rub. Now, I've decided to steam these today. Sometimes I'll cook them in the oven or on the grill, or I can saute them in the skillet, but we're going to keep it simple today and steam them for about 15 minutes over high heat. So moving right along, we're going to drop these into the steam basket and then put them in the saucepan and get them onto the stove. Now, once on the stove, I'm going to put the cover on, go away for about 15 minutes, and then come back to check on them. We're looking for fork tender here, and that's perfect. So it's time to remove these from the fire and set them aside. Now, with the side dish done, it's time to move back to the steak. I've taken it out of the sous vide bath, and just like me, it looks kind of gray and wrinkled right out of the bath, so we're going to take some steps to remedy that. We're going to take this over to the sear station on the grill over really high heat, and we're going to set that down for just a couple of minutes, really. And what we're after here is some aesthetic improvement to make it look a little bit better, but we're also putting on a little bit of a crust onto the outside of the steak. It's light and subtle, but the inside is going to be super tender and juicy. And so on the outside, I just want to enhance that outer layer to round out the bite experience. So we're going to give it just a minute or so on each side. And what we end up with is, wow, a beautiful beef tenderloin that looks and smells fantastic. When we cut into this, we see how beautifully cooked this steak is, a perfect medium rare all the way from edge to edge and super tender. I'm really having to cut very tender here to not tear it apart because it is so soft and tender. Guys, the end result is a mouth-watering, picture-perfect steak. I want to thank you for spending some time with me today. If you enjoyed this lunch break video, consider subscribing to my channel and don't forget to hit the bell so you can be alerted each time I release a new video. I have some exciting videos coming up, so I hope to see you back soon. Thanks.